Say, man, welcome back to another No Sugarcoat podcast. I am your host, True World, with my boy, Sid the Great. Y'all already know what to do. We got something special for y'all today, but guess what? The first thing we got to do, we got to give all praise and honor to God because He
is the reason why we are here today.
Can I get an amen?
Amen, amen. You don't need no lick in your system, boy.
No. Don't do me like that. We got a special guest here today. I would like for you to introduce yourself. What is your name, miss?
My name is Star.
Literally Star.
Yeah, Star with 2 R's.
Literally.
Star with 2 R's. Tell us something about yourself. What do you do?
What do I do?
Yes, what do you do? Who are you?
Who are you?
Yes, who are you?
I am, wait, hold on. I'm a legal assistant, so I work at a criminal defense firm. I mean, most of my life is working, but I'm also going to law school soon. Okay. So that's what I do. And then I have 2 great dogs. I love them. They're both boys. They're golden retrievers.
Oh,
and yeah, I love my dogs and I love my job. And no, I don't. I kind of hate my job.
Oh, Jesus!
If you ever get arrested or pulled over, and you're in Denton, Collin County, please 940-483-8000.
Oh, we gotta put that. There gotta be a clip. There gotta be one right there.
There's gotta be a clip right there.
What we talking about today, my boy?
No, Tim is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we talking about our childhood experiences.
Just childhood, just in general. What comes to mind when you hear that word childhood? It's something that you came up with. What pops out at you?
My eye keeps twitching, and it's kind of funny. And it's funny that you say that because this is actually from work. And so when I think about childhood, I think that I look back now as a 22-year-old, and dude, they were violating child labor laws. Like, I was packing fish as a 5-year-old. Labeling boxes, going on deliveries, like that was my life.
What was you at?
Yeah,
dude, bro. I think so. My mom kind of had me a little bit late in life, so she was 40, but she's. I don't want to say when I say victim, don't think of it in a general connotation, but she was a victim of war on drugs, so 1960s. That type of flow. So we're getting out of the time of segregation, and MLK's died, and this is when drugs were becoming a really big issue in America. And so being a first generation immigrant, because my grandma, I don't even know how to say that. Like what that generation
lineage or
the third,
okay.
The most senior of my family. They lived in Mexico. They immigrated. They came to Dallas in the 1930s. So, actually, we're in Dallas. That's kind of crazy. So they didn't speak English. They learned to speak English by only watching anything and listening to things in English and reading cereal boxes. And so segregation was big at that time when my grandma was young. And being the only, I guess you could say, Hispanic young woman in an all German Catholic school, they were like,
German.
Yeah, beat her with rulers, the whole thing. So, anyways.
Beating with rulers, like for real?
Yeah. So it's like, the common thread here is like extreme discipline, right? Mm-hmm. So I was raised by older women, so it's always go, go, go. Their ideal or their perception of success was you were married, you had kids, and you went to church. Like that's life. That's the end. So every day, even as a kid, like my mom would make me stay up at night and just write and write and write till it was perfect. Now in the present time, I know that it's drugs, but at the time I thought that or sorry, I don't even know what I'm saying. That's what life was. And so, yeah, work. And now I'm getting to a point in my life where my childhood, I finally had enough time to catch my breath and look back and be like, just sit down and do what we're doing right now. Just talk, you know? I love a good conversation. But yeah.
She's not wrong. Me and Starting had a lot of great conversations. Her life is something to listen to, honestly. I did not expect you to go down that. I didn't even know you going.
You said childhood.
I don't know what I was expecting.
There.
There's usually a lot that tends to stem from our childhood. Usually tend to be from like our upbringings and the things that we experience at that young age, and as we grow into mature into our adulthood, you know, it's going to be a lengthy process. We're going to have different experiences that shape who we are and who we become as people.
You know, when I think about childhood, it's crazy. I always hated my mom, or I listened to other people like my family or friends in high school. I helped my mom pay bills at 16 when I got my first job.
Understood.
I was helping pay bills, right? And, you know, you hear, you got your family, your aunties and uncles in your ear. Your mom, that's her responsibility. She the parent. You shouldn't be doing this and that. And you got your friends at school saying, hey, why are you helping your mom pay bills?
But you got to get it how you live.
But you got to get it how you live. Not even just that. At first, it was kind of hard. Like, why I can't spend my own money that I'm working hard for, right?
Yeah.
But then I think over time, and even now I look back at that time, I'm a pro, and then I'm not saying I'm bragging. It's not nothing to be happy about, but I'm a pro at being responsible and paying my bills and staying on top of things because I've been doing it for so long. Although that might not have been the best circumstance of helping your mom pay bills, it still taught you something, right?
Of course.
You got to get something out of whatever whatever you're going through in life. When I think about childhood, I think about those things that back then you might have thought wasn't a good idea, that you thought was wrong, but look at where you're at today because of it.
See, I think one of the things that people sleep on is whether or not you choose to see the good in what was happening.
Well,
Because some people choose not to see it.
I want to take it back a second, actually, and just throw in a little comedic relief. Did y'all ever, and you might have a different perspective because you were little boys and I was a girl and whatever.
Understood.
But did you ever go to school and just complain that you were tired, and some of the other kids would look at you and be like, from what? Why are you tired? Did you ever just,
Because I had to wake up at 6 a.m. I was tired.
How did that?
I was tired, Bob.
I don't know. I mean, at what age are we talking about? How young? Like, what age are we talking about?
You never went to school and you were just tired.
I mean, yeah, definitely that, mentally drained. I mean, I'm not gonna say. I think men and women can hold on to things differently. As a man, we have a lot on our mind, a lot of things we have to live up to, especially when your mom calls you the man in the house when you're the only man in a house full of females, right? And it's a mental drain on the man, especially even as a child that doesn't know what a man really is yet. It can be a mental drain on somebody, especially trying to go to school, get an education, then go to a job right after school and work till 1 o'clock in the morning and do it again. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And you gotta wake up early like everybody else.
Man,
that ain't no joke. That is real deal.
You know those people that they
So
just
it's
don't
like,
know work ethic. They don't.
Well,
And
because they never had to.
it's honestly, I am grateful that I grew up that way. Do I agree with? I'm past the point where I looked at everything as a lesson and that everything was okay, but now I feel a little bit more. I feel like my emotional intelligence developed a little bit more because I understand that I can separate things now within that time period. So I learned everything, and I'm self-sustaining, but everything with my mom, like that my mom did to the extreme, wasn't necessary. In any world, whether the good, the bad, and even the neutral, it's like, yes, to a certain point, I see the lesson in it, and I can recognize that was wrong, and I'll never understand why she did it, but I can love her from a distance, and everything will be just fine.
Do you like the person that you have became because of that experiences? Those experiences?
Well, and I think, again, I'm like past that at a certain point, because yes, I have the tools that I need, but I was always looking back. and I was always just, I think, trying to fix something. I really started diving deep into, so, wait, pause. Whenever you grow up in really extremely abusive homes as a kid, and you experience trauma, your actual, I think it's the thing that detects your fight or flight, I think it's your amygdala, I don't know. But it's kind of in the frontal cortex. I can't remember if I think it largens, yeah. So it overgrows. So any little thing when you're an adult triggers that. And so you have like unnecessary adrenaline rushes. Your whole world is kind of thrown upside down. So like, for example, if you were to get up, say I were to like spill a drink and you got upset or you were like, oh my fucking God, I would be like, not because I'm necessarily scared of you, but it's because of all the extreme and like.
Trigger.
No, it's not really a trigger. It's like, it's the, I have to take, some people do have to take medicine to balance the chemicals in their brain, but, wait, I'm getting off on a tangent. But anyways, so, I forgot where I was going with that. Damn, threw me off, Sydney. I'm just kidding. No, wait. Anyways, oh, yeah, I remember now. So, you said that if I was grateful for those experiences.
Or do you like the person that you are today because of those?
And my roundabout point was, I think that I'm still working on it. And because I had, that's what I was saying. Okay. Always in survival mode. So things got calm. You know, I turned 18. I got out away from my mom's thumb of like, I always ran from the system. But at the same time, my mom and I kind of had a silent contract of like, if you don't say shit, I won't say shit. And so my mom always threatened me with, call fucking CPS, whatever. So the abuse got so bad at one point that I was just homeless. I was homeless. She didn't really care. I walked the stage, high school graduation, homeless. I was living out of my car. So sign a lease the day that I'm 18, did it ever since. Work, go to school, you pay your bills, do your time.
On repeat.
Yeah.
Yep. Believe me, I know.
And that's what life is. And I kept thinking I was working towards something. And that I was the person, because I was this fucking little badass that, oh yeah, I am in college. And my mom, like, I thought that I had more of an ego, I guess, and I thought that I was always 2 steps ahead of everybody. But that's the wrong way to think. It's just stop for a second. You can't keep running because you knock things over. You have to take time and enjoy the moment.
Hey, that was... Hey.
Dude, I've been...
That was... Woo. Did you...
Yeah, I'm listening, man.
You
Bro,
can't keep running because you're not...
Because you're going to knock things over.
You gotta
What
slow
you
down.
knocking over?
Well, it's kind of crazy because to look back now and see the person that I used to be, and even the person that I am today, I appreciate it, but I'm still not where I want to be. But back then, I used to think that was the best mindset. I had totally convinced myself that no one really knew my life and to tell me what to do because I individually did that shit. I was very just fuck everyone at that point because I was just angry as a child, and I was never violent, but I was just so bitter. When kids would cry, I'd be like, what the fuck? What are you crying for?
What you crying for?
Yeah.
You crying for?
I'll give you something to
Yeah,
cry about.
exactly.
You ain't been through nothing.
And that's wrong
Yeah.
because you dilute other people's trauma unnecessarily. Because you're not, and again, tone deafness, like I was saying with the other guy.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't have another life. I wouldn't, ask for a different situation, because at the end of the day, like this is
Who
me,
you are. This is you.
and I think that changes every second, every day. I think that you're a different person than you were even 2 days ago, because you have and I'm twisting, I'm switching gears on you.
Switch them. Let's round about. Come on.
Is that the really, quote unquote, I guess, bad or unjust or just something that's really wrong is to know something and to do it anyways. I think that if you were truly ignorant to certain things, like, and you did it and you felt the consequence, you wouldn't do it again. Or you would at least make a reasonable effort
Some thought to not do it.
again. Yeah. But people don't think like that. A lot of people, and everyone wants to say, oh, why, don't we have world peace? Why can't we all just agree? But it's because some of us, so the majority of the population as a whole, like the whole earth, the whole earth, is more inherently bad than they are inherently good.
Okay.
So the way that you think, or the way that you think, or the way that anyone walking down the street thinks, we all think differently. And we might talk to each other and understand each other, but we really don't, because I'll never know your brain the way that you know your brain. And we have the huge problem with things is that there's this barrier of perception. And so people can't, like, y'all can see it, because even the guy that was here, some people like to make it majestic and spiritual and say it's like the third level, but I think it's just being conscious. And because it just went over his head. You don't want to be that person. You want to do everything in life with thoughtful intent, because being, at least, you don't have to be smart to make good moves, I guess you could say. You just think about it a little bit.
Yeah,
So you think we have right and wrong in
Think
us?
about it.
We know right from wrong? Think it's just something that's in us?
Well, I think, like, for example, let's say you were probably 14, all right? You passed a note with the girl that you really weren't supposed to. Your girlfriend gets mad. You're like, oh my God, I don't want to ever see another, I never want to make another person, male, female, feel like that ever again. But if you become the person that is like, oh, well, I could just hide it better, or I could do it better. And if you don't have that much self-awareness to realize that it's becoming a pattern, honestly, have y'all ever thought about pattern recognition?
Of course.
What's your stance on
I
that?
haven't. What have you thought about?
I mean, all it really comes down to is really connecting the dots, like recognizing a consistency of behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's about, really, if you can catch it, as it's happening, you can stop it before it becomes, a habit.
Mm-hmm. I think it takes, I don't know, it takes
like a certain amount of time of you doing something through repetition to make something happen.
23 days?
7.
27 days. Yeah, I knew I was close. Somewhere it's 27 days.
So roughly a month as an estimate.
To consistently.
I have to remind myself of that, because I find myself, like I am diagnosed with depression, but after the pandemic and I went through a really abusive relationship, and so getting away from that completely, plus the pandemic, it was like, damn, I'm getting old, huh?
You getting old, yeah. Okay.
I think all day.
Old? How old are you?
22.
That's 22.
What old are you getting?
I'm 25. You
Man,
28.
I'm
ain't you?
28. You talking about you getting old?
My mom put my brain to work.
So now you exhausted,
No, I'm
ain't
just
you?
kidding.
You're like, I'm exhausted.
No,
But
that's
like, I
an-
done lived enough life.
A whole lot.
I
of
done
life.
been through enough.
That's an excuse.
Hey, it is real, boy. I tell you that. Some things you're not meant to go through as a child, but it builds you until you are who you are today. Makes me wonder. I think me and my girl was talking about it. We've been through struggle, right? You've been through, maybe not having no lights, no water. I don't know if you've been through it, but I've been through it before, right? So, and that gives you something. I don't know. I can't think of that word that builds your character, that lets you know you've been through some struggle, that you can get through it. You know how to get out of it. You know how to navigate through it. And it makes me wonder, although we don't want that for our children, how can we teach that lesson as well without them having to go through the same thing?
Ooh.
You can't.
I think
That's
we
a good-
try to skip steps.
Yeah.
And there's certain steps you just can't skip if you want to instill a certain level of perseverance.
Yep. Perseverance. That's it.
I
That's it.
remember what I was talking.
Yeah.
I remember what I was saying now.
I thought you already hit that. You didn't hit that point? I thought you rounded back and hit it.
About because he said, so I was on a very terrible girlfriend analogy. And so if you grow up and you continue to do it in whatever context, it's, oh wait, man, Sydney, you're gonna have to kick me out of here. Dude.
Why? I'm gonna have to kick you out of
fucking
here.
put me in a retirement home. You're gonna have to put me, yeah.
You
just
22.
Euthanize me.
Euthanize.
Look,
But you're not even a.
there's a bad habit. There's a bad habit. I should have just said, I should have trusted it. I should have trusted it.
That's why we here, to talk.
But yeah, perception.
Anything else comes to mind? Anything else comes to mind with childhood?
I mean, what value can I bring when it comes to the childhood conversation? I mean, I know that what you go through in the childhood can shape you and affect you into adulthood. I know that I feel like there's some things that I've struggled with as far as like recognizing my true self and understanding how I see myself and how others see me. And at the end of the day, that's always going to be my battle to bear. It's always going to be my battle to recognize and understand that I need to value myself, regardless of what things that have happened in the past.
Sydney, you haven't told a story.
I haven't told a story.
Yeah.
Ooh, what kind of stories you got?
Tell like a wait. My favorite question, and it's really kind of fucked up, but
Go ahead.
Okay.
I love it. Okay, so when was the last time, or have you ever? Do you remember the last time you like feared for your life at the hands of someone else? Like as a kid, even if you didn't see it that way, but it kind of was that way. Like
Police came behind me. Police came behind me. I was in a Ford Ranger.
you're like
Doing about 90 on an odometer, a speedometer, whatever.
I mean, fear for my life. I can't think of nothing traumatic other than my mama got into a car accident.
Well, no, I mean
But
like
not nothing like I can't really
no, like I mean like from your family.
Family. Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from my family.
You don't have any like just really bad. So you know the saying, blood is thicker than water.
Yeah.
Do y'all both believe in that?
No.
It's a lot of nuance to that because at the same time you also got to think all blood ain't family.
That's an SAT word.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's some people out here that ain't even your family that treat you way better than your own family.
Yeah, there's some.
That'll do
There's
so
some
much
family
more
that's
for you,
better
and
than
they don't
family.
even know you. I mean, you got to think, and I'm not like people that get adopted. Them people, them people do not know you. You're not their blood at all. But they're gonna take care of you. They're
Or
gonna
at
give
least
you
they're
a
gonna
life
try
that
to.
you, or at least they're gonna try to. They're gonna try to give you a life that you deserve to have, that they feel like you deserve to have. And I think you made me just think about something. I don't think I've ever put that two and two together when it came to blood thicker than water. But I believe that I don't think it's just your family can do you wrong than anybody else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your family can do you
it's
way
usually
wrong.
be the people that's closest to you that do you the
They
worst.
do you the worst. At the end of the day, I'll be honest with you. Nah, blood is not thicker than water.
It's not. I mean, we want it to be. We want it to
sound
symbolize, something important. But at the end of the day, everybody that holds your name don't hold you.
I'm guessing you don't believe it. You agree, or do you? Probably not.
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, so my first tattoo, a very large part of my childhood was my grandpa, but we weren't blood related at all. He had, 12 grandkids.
Jesus.
Putting in work.
Wait, it's because
12? Well, it depends on how many.
Well, yeah, that is true.
I guess
Now
it
that
does
I think
depend
about
on
it,
how
yeah.
many. Yeah, that makes sense. How many children you have?
Now,
how
if it
many
was children, I'd be like, see, yeah, that's
that's a lot.
well, that's a classroom.
That's a classroom and a half.
ooh, I'm winding it. I'm intertwining
Keep going.
our conversation.
What you got?
So, speaking of, my grandpa and my grandma, they met. Grandma immigrated, right? Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And then my grandpa was 5 years older than my grandma.
Okay.
Whitest man, like white. His last name was Tippy. Her
Yeah.
name is
White.
Motherfucker got colonized. My grandma is literally whitewashed.
Colonized white.
Whitewashed as fuck. I tried to talk to my grandma in Spanish. She's like, huh? I'm like, I know. You're not white.
Because you know fluent Spanish, don't you?
Well, obviously, since my family's racist.
You know fluent.
They don't. They're coconuts.
They're what?
They're brown on the outside.
They're brown on the outside, but white in
Oh
there.
my
They're coconuts.
God.
They're coconuts. Oh,
my
man.
God.
But it's because it was cool to be white back in their day. Like the white girls got everything. My mom always said, you don't have to be pretty here. At least in Texas, you just have to have blonde hair, big boobs, and blue eyes. And that's it. You don't even have to have an ass.
Yeah, I think that last one might have been a new development.
A new development.
I'm just saying.
Ooh,
Well, like back then.
Because I mean, like, you got to think, back in the day, they wanted them slender tenders. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, they don't want just the slender tender. They want the whole bread basket. They want the basket.
That's actually
They want the caniac combo. That's what they want.
That's kind of funny because he got.
Come on, let's get in the frame, fam.
It's been a long day, y'all. I'm just kind of ooh-wee.
So, my mom actually modeled for Playboy here in Dallas, and
Wow.
she was skinny. So, and my grandma skinny growing up. So my mom married just Mexican through and through. So my dad was a little bit of a bigger build. So I wasn't a stick. So as a growing kid, as a girl, they would like write down my pant sizes, and they would be like, I remember one time specifically, my grandma was like, if you keep wearing leggings, you're gonna get, and I don't know if you pronounce it cellulite or cellulite. Cellulite. You're gonna get cellulite. And if you eat too much cheese, you're gonna get fat. No one likes a fat ass. And
Well.
yeah. And
Well.
so it's because they were skinny.
Times have changed.
And then, so my mom's telling me this. She's telling me this growing up. She's like, "Oh, are you gonna keep working out? Are you running? What did you eat today? Whatever." I turned about 18, 19. My mom was fucking doing coke, like drinking beer all night, doing like smoking. Smoking meth. She didn't get into crack until later. Again, war on drugs, but.
Oh, we're going back.
It's a revolving.
Back like 4 flats on the cow.
She brought out a list.
But yeah, so don't feel ashamed about your body, and don't let anyone tell you that you're fat, because you should. Their private parts probably stink.
Lord Jesus.
Whoa.
Probably smell like rat toes.
Dude, I saw
Rat toes is
boy.
Jesus. Jeez.
2 mice fucking in a wool sock. Have you smelled that?
No.
That's
The description.
No. Do you have any like cockroach stories or anything?
Oh yeah, They had some roaches, boy. What?
Boy.
Man, we lived in some apartments in White Settlement. I just took my girl out there the other day.
Forward.
We lived in apartments in White Settlement, man. I swear this dude below us, we ain't nasty folk. Now, we was in the struggle. We was in an apartment, 3 kids, 2 parents. You know what I'm saying? It was a struggle. But I swear this dude below us had an infestation. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when he put stuff outside his house, like I guess right there for the trash people to come pick it up, roaches was like dead in them, smashed up in them.
Oh, man.
You can see all of it. So, you know, we get up in the middle of the night, go get up something to eat. You cut on that light, them, they just motherfuckers just flee everywhere. I say, ooh-wee. And we wasn't nasty folk. I mean, we were clean freaks. Boy, we had to clean. We had no choice, all the people that lived at the apartment.
Yeah.
But nigga, waking up to roaches is real. And you can't leave no food out. When I say
You sure can't.
Who didn't live with some roaches before?
Yup.
Who didn't live with some roaches before?
Come on now.
All of y'all fortunate back here?
Come
in the
on
back,
now.
ain't nobody lived with no roaches before.
Yeah.
Everybody live, come on.
And then we got the testimony. They coming out. They got a
Everybody
story.
had some roaches. 1 or 2, yeah, you got lucky.
And then
Boy.
you ain't live.
Oh my God,
You
Sydney
ain't
called us.
live. You ain't live. I said you ain't live unless
Boy.
you came in a cabinet.
Boy, wake up
and
in the middle of the night
cabinet
like
came
this.
in.
Like, boy.
Look. You ain't live
Boy.
unless you got a cabinet in your house,
Boy.
and that cabinet contains a can of the world's strongest Raid.
Tell
The
me.
Raid come in, and then it came into the
roaches
flow.
is
You
real.
spray, and it felt like Moses parting in the Red Sea.
Elvis.
He came in. He came
Oh.
in. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
He came today. he showed up today.
So yeah, so you gotta get the ring.
He was
That
on his
boy.
break. He came back.
Break
So-
out in hymns or what?
And then we came in, got a new place. We said we gonna throw out all the furniture. Ooh, I see a bed.
Nah.
It's made of wood.
You know it's
ain't
real.
gonna take
You ain't
that.
gonna take that bed.
I see
Boy.
a whole lot of other furniture. You ain't gonna take that. I see a wooden dresser.
ain't
No,
gonna
you
take
ain't gonna
that.
take that. I see some old clothes. You better wash. I mean, you better wash. I mean, you better
And
wash.
don't wash 'em in the
And
house.
if
Take
you
'em to the
don't
washing
wash them, you gonna regret the day.
Come on now. Come on
On
now.
2 hours on high because you can't let the dang roaches. Let that
Boy,
sit for a
you
moment.
didn't have some roaches.
I was gonna say
You didn't have some roaches.
We had raid a whole lot, but you ain't really had it unless you got some roach bombs from the Home Depot. What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that?
You didn't have some
Unless
roaches.
you didn't really went down in the soul. Yeah. You got to leave the house for about 2 strong
Boy,
hours.
You was in the trenches,
Boy,
wasn't
we
you?
were-
That nigga was in the trenches.
he wrote a little song.
You done had some roaches.
We was
for real.
over here, not by my current fiance, but by the old one that ain't important. Oh, let me tell you about something. When I was on the south side of Dallas, we was over there around the Cockrell Hill area. The Walmart over there was where we shopped. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
We were shopping, and then we said, ooh, not by the toilet. You ain't nothing crawling on my behind. No. We had to get up out of there.
Okay.
The roaches had won.
What?
Okay.
What if you just deadpan back to the camera and you just said, "Sorry, I don't know what came over me."
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, I don't know what came over me,
Yeah,
man.
something.
It was
Them roaches came over you. Lord
the
Jesus.
roaches.
He's back.
Oh God.
What?
Look, it's all important that we all overcame something.
What if someone had headphones in?
I almost started preaching.
About some roaches.
Thank you.
You were yelling, boy. Ooh wee. So I guess what you said, bro, we all had to overcome something.
Yes.
Ooh, it's been a long day. It's been a long
It's
day.
been a long day.
It's
It's been, yeah.
yeah.
You want to hear? You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
That didn't sound. You didn't sound.
Let's get it going.
I'm still trying to come down from all of that he was just doing.
Let's get it going.
The presence of Jesus.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
No.
Yes, Lord.
Don't get started. Again.
Yes, Lord. You better let it out if it's in you. Yeah. Mm-mm.
He forgot to take his medicine. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, when it comes to a pill,
Right.
no, I'm playing.
All right, start
Okay.
share your story.
Okay,
And we're
okay.
going to wrap it up. Okay.
You're not having a
Well,
good time.
I mean, I'm not saying we're not having a good time.
That means he's not. He
He's
doesn't want
having
to
a
be
good
here.
time. We're having a great time. Great.
No sugarcoat.
Our Sugarcoat Podcast. We always have a great
I
time.
should coat nothing.
You seem a little
Not even the
sad.
roaches.
Sad. I'm really tired. Been up since 4 a.m.
It's the liquor.
It's okay. I'm well energized.
Do you really think so?
Pour the liquor.
Pour the liquor.
Poet.
Pour the liquor.
See, Jesus turned water into wine.
See, that you didn't did. What were you going to say?
Oh. Okay. I was gonna tell you like something. So we worked at Walmart together, and I thought I had some stories from there. Then I go and I work in criminal defense, and our clients
Okay.
are legit. They're some angry people, man. Like, they straight up. I think one time I was on the phone and I was telling a woman something about, because it was her DWI second, which isn't that bad. It's still a misdemeanor, but she was complaining about having an ignition interlock. And so I told her that I would check with the attorney and call her back. But before I could do that, her and her friend were so drunk, just laughing at me. Just straight up laughing. And it's fine, but they wouldn't even let me get another word out. It was like so bad. And then they go, "What do you mean you'll call me back?" They're like, "Where are you gonna go?" And I'm like, "I'm just gonna check with the attorney. I don't want to keep you on hold." And she said, like, what, you're going to check in with your mommy? She's like, because you sound about 12 years old.
Cool.
Ooh, this woman need prayer.
Yeah. And she, like, they both kept laughing. And it was probably, I was really new at the time. I was 20 when I started. And it was rough. And I was so mad. And honestly, now, it literally anyone can say anything they want. Except maybe about, like, I get upset if someone's like, I don't know, like talk shit about my mom. I think even though we had such a separated relationship,
Still your mom.
That's why I got in trouble the first time in school, is because people would just diss on her and like say that she was a murderer. Like kids would come up to me in school.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, I would get into fights
Murderer?
but I couldn't. Oh yeah, murder. You know that story?
Oh boy.
You don't know that
Well,
story?
we talked about that. No, that's that. I don't recall.
You don't. What? Who? No, I'm just kidding. I thought that was
I mean, we talked, but I don't know about that.
my dad, my mom. So wait. I mean, do you want to hear the story?
Yeah, come on, lay it down. Lay the story down.
Everybody
Come
in the
on.
backdrop like,
Interesting. No, I'm kidding. What if my mom like sues me? She's like, don't fucking say that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. It's actually kind of crazy, and I've said it so many times because it's fucking crazy. But, so, my mom and my dad were addicts. So, my mom was really addicted to meth and crack, and then my dad was extremely addicted to heroin. So he didn't have a higher education than 6th grade. And so my mom didn't graduate high school. They met each other. My dad's first language was Spanish. My mom was English. And they would just roam the streets of East Dallas. And yeah, they had a happy little life. He would take care of her car. At this point, they're still dating. And so obviously the drugs kind of messed things up, but my mom still had her high-paying job. She was actually the town secretary for Highland Park, which is one of the richest zip codes in Dallas. And so she handled everything that got with my dad. It is what it is. Not anything bad about him, but, you know, she just chose. She had a lot. She was putting into retirement. She drove a nice car. She took care of the yard. My brother was in private school. Anything that she wanted, she could have, because she was self-sustaining without a high school diploma. And so I guess, you know, again, drugs gets with my dad, and maybe they were really in love, but when you get into that cycle of things, they intensify. And so my dad was extremely abusive with my mom. He would, the nice car that she had, he would break her, like throw her on the back of it and just like slam her into the spoiler. And another time he like punched the glass in one of her houses just to get in. And the cops were able to identify him because of the blood and stuff.
Oh, man.
He spent a lot of his life in and out of prison. And so he got his high school diploma in prison. But all you can do is work out and, you know, or jack off or get fat. But, I mean, there's not
many
much
other
to
options.
do. But,
Eat, work out, jack off. You can read, you can learn. They have school.
well, he did. I mean, I have to give him that. I don't think he was a complete dumbass because he was with my mom. And then also I'm like, there's no way. Like, I don't know. If anyone could meet my mom, I would say that there's not another Monica, because it's just like, even through all the drug use, she's still like, she's smarter than that guy that was here earlier. Like,
Oh, man.
it's like,
man.
everyone else, like, I don't know. They do say that bad embers never die or something. Like, evil sticks around. I shouldn't say that. But, I mean, if you hear some stories, anyways, back to their love story. is so they get married. The day that they get married, they eloped, whatever. He's driving my mom's car. He drove whatever kind of beat up truck. And he's driving my mom's car. They're going home. And he looks at her and he said, "You know what? You don't mind. Like, you don't obey." And she said that she remembers, like, what the fuck? Because it was like a switch.
A click.
When they got married. But if you are Hispanic, you know that that's very machista mindset. And so it was you were mixing what is that? Is that first generation? So my dad actually immigrated from Mexico, but my grandma immigrated, and then my mom was born here. So she had already evolved a little bit, even though, because my grandma took the forefront of like all the really strict, like, listen to your husband, there's food on the table, you serve him, why aren't you serving him? The woman does everything. You make everything from scratch, and it has to be hot. And when the man comes home, you do what he says. And he can go out and he can have all the fun that he wants, and you have to stay there. You have to stay at home. And anywhere that you go, he's right there with you. If you leave and he doesn't know where you go, that's a problem. If you go somewhere without him, where's your husband? Are you lost? And so my mom was like rebelling, like, whatever. She was always she was really smart, but she just went down a bad path. Anyways, so she would, instead of just leaving him, instead of just realizing, hey, maybe this isn't going to work out because
she obeyed and stayed.
Different backgrounds, like, just leave. And so even my aunts, my dad's sisters to this day would say, like, they were just crazy about each other. So you obviously get the violence with that. And I mean, even when she got pregnant with me when she was 40 or like 39, and then she turned 40. And so there's obviously like so many complications with that. And my dad would beat the fuck out of her.
Pregnant?
And my mom said that she was like 7, 8 months pregnant. And one time, even after I was born, she was getting me out of the bath, and that he got her in between the toilet and the bathtub and was just fucking beating her. And he would also, when they were like in the beginning stages, he would like choke her until seconds before like she was gone. And he would hold her over like a bridge, like drive her somewhere, hold her over a bridge and be like, if you ever fucking leave me, I'm gonna snap your neck and throw you over the bridge. And so this life in prison, he's like this strong ass, like tatted up, like, it's just kind of crazy because if you could see my mom, she was this little prissy, girl. And then my dad just is a fucking, wait, crazy. Hold on, pause. My uncle shot and killed somebody at a bus stop back in the 90s, and he got away with it.
God. Wait.
Whoa.
What? He's already been through the system for it, but it was only 3 years. It's like he's old and
what?
No one knows who I'm talking about. I didn't.
Get away with that.
What? Oh,
Had to be
That's
a bad system.
crazy.
what? You don't like that? Why? You don't like
I just don't have no words.
what?
Yo,
It was like that's a long time ago.
Define. Give us details.
What do you mean? Wait,
Any details you know?
I was just Oh. No, he's already been. He's already.
Hey, we trolling. We
Crazy.
We trolling. That you said too much.
He's already been through this. Like he was on Yeah, he's already been the whole thing.
So isn't a law against that? They can't go. They can't. It's too far
No.
back, isn't it? And it's too far back.
Oh,
They
I
can't
thought-
even
I
do
thought
nothing
you
about
talking
it
about
now,
double
right?
jeopardy.
They already have justice was served.
Oh,
You
so
can't.
he's
I thought
good.
you
re-
was talking about double.
You can't
double
reopen
jeopardy.
it.
Well,
case.
when I say you can't take things so literal. What I mean is like if you think it's cool to be like the drive-bys happen all the time. Fucking young like he was getting cookies. Young
Yeah.
Thomas, and people just do fucked up shit, and like I don't want to be associated with that. Anyways, so I was just trying to give you a sense of like my dad's background, not trying to stir anything, but so my mom, my dad, my brother, and me, we moved to North Dakota. Shit gets bad. My dad, being the gangster that he was, had hollow point bullets in the car, in the gun. They were going on a fishing trip. My mom was driving. My brother was in the passenger seat, and my dad was in the back seat. And so when my brother said something because he has a different dad, so my brother said something, pissed my dad off because again, super like, you're gonna respect me, whatever. Like my brother hated him because he would see the way that he would hit my mom. And so like he would just scream at my dad sometimes like, you don't deserve Star and you don't deserve my mom. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know. Separate side note, I feel bad that my brother had to see all that.
Yeah.
But
Trauma. Deeply rooted
so
trauma.
so he says that, and then my dad starts choking my brother. And my mom, working for Highland Park, had to take, all the city safety courses. She had to run a mile in however much time. Like, public safety used to be a really big thing. And so she was doing all her, like, self-defense things. Like, you could see it in the autopsy photos. She had ripped chunks out of his hair, like, just trying to get him off of my brother. And, the heroin, it amps again. And he was, 40? And so just, like, he wouldn't let go. And my mom always says that it's different. She's like, whatever, he fucking put his hands on me. I'm the piece of shit for, like, staying and continuing doing that. The second you touch one of my kids, what the fuck is your problem? And so she, like, if he were to have survived, he would have been blind because my mom was, like, gouging his eyes out. But, again, he was so strong. Yeah, there's nothing that you could... My mom always said she used to grab me by my shirt and she would pick... Like, I was little, and she would pick me up off of the floor and say, and don't you ever think that you're ever going to fight a man, because you're not. She's like, you're not. You might think that you're all big and bad, but no. They hit you one time, and that's it. You're seeing stars. But it's just like men have a different
strength.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
So my mom, my dad's not letting go. My brother's turning purple at this point. And he's in a cast because he played football. He had what are those things called when you get, like, they're permanent and they go into the bone? What is it?
The rods?
Rods, yeah. He had metal rods in his leg. And my dad's choking him. My brother's 13. And so my mom puts the gun up to I think the left side of him. And she was like, if you don't fucking let go, I'm going to pull the trigger. And then she says that the gun went off. I don't know if she pulled the trigger, whatever. The safety was off. So, I don't know. But that's the big question, honestly. And so, gun goes off, blood splatters. My dad dies instantly. It pierced, the hollow point bullet pierced, instead of going through like a normal bullet, and hollow point bullets are illegal, but instead of having an enter and exit wound, the hollow point bullet expands. And so he just turned purple, and it had pierced his heart and lungs. So, and then, and obviously, I don't even know how I would feel in that situation, because that was her husband. Like, that's the father to her child. That's its whole thing. She fucks up. She leaves him on the side of the road in Parks River, North Dakota. It's a very small town. And so by the time they get to the house, the cops are already there. And so they take my brother into one room. They take my mom into another. My brother's 13. He's not the brightest, but he's street smart. They play good cop, bad cop with him. They were trying to say that my mom had premeditated it, and that it was first-degree murder, and she was looking at life. And my brother was like, just like shaking, crying, and they're doing the thing, and he's like, you can tell me it's okay, and the other one's like, fucking say it, which is fucked up. Like, holy, like, take that kid have him talk to a counselor, CPS. Like, what are you doing? Anyways, I keep hitting this mic. So he says that my mom was hysterical, and the cops thought that meant that she was laughing, and she was fucking like crying, like hyperventilating. And so it just went from there. They put her into custody. They flew my grandpa got the call. Actually, so I don't know who called my aunt, and I don't talk to this aunt, but they called this aunt, and we used to have the house phone. I don't know, and I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know how I got back to Texas. I don't know actually that piece. But I was in Texas at my grandparents' house. The house phone rings. And it's kind of funny now to think about it, because I remember things so vividly. I don't know why. And I don't remember this, but I can remember like the feeling is like my grandpa picks it up, and it's the aunt or whoever, and they're like, Monica's killed her husband. And I think we moved out there. I don't know how I got back, but they were out there for probably like a month or two, and they were moving out there to fix their relationship. And so yeah, my mom was looking at life, and she took a plea deal because her court-appointed attorney sucked, and they told her that she would be home by Christmas, and she wasn't home. She spent 2 years in North Dakota State Women's Prison, and she did get early release. I think she was on. I remember going with her to her, like, when she had to pee, like, to probation, and we would have to report and go and whatnot. So that was interesting as a child. But yeah, she's a felon. So I grew up with a mother who was a convicted felon for
should have been on the last episode.
For negligent homicide.
Should have been on the last episode where we actually had a conversation with a convicted felon.
Oh, well, I mean, and people say, like, I don't even, because, I mean, do you know felons? It used to be kind of an F word, but you can literally pick up a felony for anything. It's not like you're just this big.
His felony was attempted murder.
What did he, like, choke somebody, or what did he do?
Wrong place, wrong time, honestly, I think.
Oh.
I forgot the full story. We're not going to talk about it till he comes back, and then we're going to get deeper. Yeah, he had to go right before you showed up.
What?
He had to,
like he was just here?
He was here.
Oh,
he was here. He shot video, yeah. He recorded and everything, yeah. I think he did 3 episodes, something like that.
Oh, but we moved. My mom got out, and then, yeah, kids would say, your mom's a murderer. But I don't know how they would. It was just like I would get bullied for that. Jesus, take the wheel. Just kidding.
He need to take it. Jesus.
Please.
Take it.
I'm ready.
Sorry,
Honestly,
this was a lot to unpack.
wow,
Oh yeah.
it's a story.
I know this was. I just wasn't expecting all of that.
I thought you. I swear to God. I thought you knew that.
What? I thought I was.
That's how. Huh?
Oh no, it's great you did it. I'm just
What?
talking about the story itself. I'm like,
Well, that's why I'm in criminal defense.
I see. That makes.
It's kind of like, but
That makes sense. Hopefully, try to help others, right?
well, it's.
I guess so.
Everything's a business at the end of the day.
No, of course.
Your doctors are scamming you.
Yeah.
The grocery store.
We're gonna talk about that. Yeah, we're gonna dig into a lot. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. We're gonna dig into a lot.
He said it's over.
This was pretty much. Yeah. Hey, this is fun. I'm lost for words, Story. You got to come back and expand on a lot of the things that you said, and let's talk about it some more because you are a storyteller. People want to hear it. No, you got to come back.
It's because I feel like it's just.
Jesus.
I wanna hear. I don't wanna always be like. I don't know. Maybe that's something I need to think about. Maybe it's me. Is like. I don't know. I feels like I get on a soapbox, but the soapbox is just it is a story. I don't know.
Ooh.
I feel like talking too much. I feel like I'm talking too much about myself. There you go. Like because if I don't know. If I don't hear anything back, I'm like, oh,
Well,
I just sat here and yapped.
People are just listening.
Yeah, I was
People
like,
are just listening.
Yeah, we're just listening.
Woo-wee. Well. Thank you for coming in our Shiriko podcast.
Good night, America.
We appreciate it. Good night.
Good night, America.
Definitely good night, America. Tune in next week to it'll be out at some point. We'll get them together. But man, any closing things you want to say, Royal?
Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit us up for an opportunity to tell your story.
Oh, or story. They're a storytelling podcast now.
That was hard.